My name is Optimus Prime, and I have had enough. I'm going to end the war by any means necessary.
I had little interest in the Legacy toy line, as well as every other Generations line except for the Studio series back when I started to get into Transformers again. But when I saw this guy on Amazon, I just couldn't help myself. This is what we should have gotten for the Bayverse Optimus. The black with the very much Bayverse inspired red flames looks so good. The blue toes sticking out don't look the greatest, but once you add his oil tanker, yeah, that fixes it. This looks almost exactly like Optimus's truck in the Michael Bay movies, and like the running theme of these videos, I am too lazy to fact check myself. I do have some issues, and while small, they do add up. Most of them have to do with robot mode, so I'll cover those in a bit, but one gripe I have in vehicle mode is how there are so many details on this truck left unpainted. The trailer is fine to me because while mostly unpainted, the color separation distributed throughout just makes it look better, but the truck... I love the yellow pinstriping on the headlights, but that's basically all the truck detail that was painted. I love the Autobot logo as well, which appears on both sides in the product images and the art on the box, but it only shows up on one side for some reason. The horns, the roof lights, they're unpainted, which at first could have been summed up as budget constraint that they couldn't afford, but then look at Scourge. And yeah, I don't buy it. You can make the argument that, oh, Scourge's figure is mostly unpainted, but look at his oil tank. It's covered in paint, and in total seems like more paint than Laser Prime has. Seems like. I'll get back into that in robot mode. Transformation is surprisingly intuitive. When I first saw this guy, I thought that the front of the truck would just split and the head and arms would just be there, but no. You basically have to explode his vehicle mode, then reform into his bot mode, and yeah, it's more enjoyable than it sounds. And his robot mode looks bland. So using nail polish, because I can't afford paint, I spruced them up slightly, and then I made a mistake that ended up with some paint being rubbed off the vehicle mode windshield. I was doing this in the middle of writing the script, so hey. And in all honesty, I can't wait to afford paint to make him better and fix his boo-boo that I caused. Because while it is better now, it's definitely not to his potential. This Optimus Prime looks awesome though. Like if Optimus Prime was done with Megatron's crap, strapped a rocket launcher to his shoulders, and just said, I am done. Oh yeah, you can flip up and reveal missiles in his shoulders, I forgot to mention that, which is just awesome. Anyway, time to discuss my problems with this figure besides the paint, and it's the posing. Now, other articulation you could want is here, but his shoulders, the main truck face, can't rotate. And they move solely on two hinges. And his actual shoulder, the area where his arm connects, is placed low and looks off sometimes. That combined with how short the arms are in general, making the lower placement seem practically useless, makes poses look a bit off. And again, due to the way that the upper torso is, posing is clunky for the legs. If you want to do a cool leg pose, you have to pose the legs in the way you want, and then rotate the waist, because if you rotate the waist first, you won't have any clearance to move the legs. And while not terribly fun to pose, you can get them some good ones. All in all, this figure isn't terrible, but I would recommend Scourge and the, at time of recording this, upcoming Toxitron. They look better to me personally, and I just... honestly, I feel like this mold was just made for those figures. Because they did not seem to care much about the paint. Oh, the paint! Oh my gosh, I completely forgot! There are so many parts that were painted that should not have been painted. They painted his arms red, even though they are cast in red plastic. And the crotch, they casted that in red plastic, which to me would have looked better if they left it red, but no, they decided to do a very weird job of color matching, because the gray of the plastic doesn't match the gray of the paint, because the gray paint has a slight blue hint to it. It just looks so weird. Like, why? And also on the truck face, again, this was cast in another color of plastic, but they decided to paint it. instead of just casting it in that plastic, and it's just, why? You could have relocated this paint in so many other places to make him look better, and I wouldn't have had to accidentally take off some of the paint on the figure itself. Man, I need to get paint so I can fix that. Now all that aside, I still enjoy this figure, but I would recommend his other decos because I prefer how those look personally. This figure isn't all. Like I showed earlier, in the background of some of his shots, he has a trailer that can convert into a battle station, and it looks awesome. Better than normal Prime's trailer, in my opinion. He has 3 weapons, including the turret gun that can detach. He has a sword and a very odd-looking axe, but it looks like that because you can combine the two into a big sword. And if you flip away the gap filler, you can sheath the weapon on his back. He also comes with a matrix that can attach onto his sword, which to me just looks awesome. But yeah, I don't think I can recommend this figure, but I can recommend this mold. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. This is your Stormcaster signing off.